Hey everyone, new type of content I want to start putting out there. Hope this resonates with you. My intention is to serve you guys with stories and experiences that I've learned from, in hopes that it resonates with you and you can benefit and find some value in. And so, a little bit of an introduction. My name is Stephen Leon, born and raised in Central Florida, now spending a chapter in Sedona, Arizona. And the past probably 5 years now, I have been playing and experimenting with meditation and watching it transform my life, and really enjoying some of the experiences. Though it was a challenge at first, being able to just sit still was kind of hard for me. I'm the type of person, when I stop moving, I tend to fall asleep. And so, developing a meditation practice took some effort at first, but the positive feedback that I would get from the experience and mental clarity and feeling of peace really motivated me to continue. And though I've had periods of time where I would stop and then restart, sometimes within the meditation and even over months and years, I have really enjoyed the journey. And it's been interesting. The more I dive into understanding who I am at my essence and being able to observe my life, not necessarily solely from my heart or feelings or solely from my mind and thoughts, but actually from a higher point of view where I can acknowledge and love the different sides of me without being controlled by them. And it's been interesting, especially the past couple years. From the outside looking in, I have gone crazy. To give you a little bit of context, I was running a multi-million-dollar business, a couple dozen employees in Central Florida, had friends and family working for me, had a luxury lifestyle that was very expensive, but it was not encapsulated in the experience of happiness. I could tell you that. There was a lot of stress, anxiety, and challenge involved, and pressure that I was putting on myself. And it wasn't until a series of unfortunate events that led to the blessing of being able to start over, now being in Sedona, Arizona, and really feeling called to help people that want to help themselves, and leveraging meditation as a way to become more familiar with who they really are, and developing a practice around that in order to create and maintain peace regardless of the situation, regardless of what's happening to you or where you're at in your life. You can still experience happiness and peace. And though I once believed I needed to walk away from my business and break up from my girlfriend and be alone in order to experience peace, I have found that where you go is where you are. And what I mean by that is the compulsive feelings and thoughts that you might experience and maybe even notice, hopefully. We could talk about how you can get there in a minute, but a lot of these experiences that you're having that may be described as uncomfortable or negative, they will follow you regardless of the situation that you're in. Because a lot of these feelings and thoughts, they are cyclical patterns that are triggered by sometimes biology, sometimes energy, and sometimes the lack of discipline or awareness that you may blame on someone else or something else. And you start to believe that, oh, you need to be around different people, or you need to be in a different city, or you need to work a different job. And though those situations can be supportive to a certain lifestyle that you may want to live, it's not the end-all be-all for creating a happy life. And I could tell you that. And now, being in Sedona, Arizona, with the least amount of money I've ever had, I'm camping out of a tent with my husky who's in the back. You might see her. I'm actually happier than I've ever been. I feel more free than I have ever felt. Even though there are plenty of reasons to feel trapped or to feel at a disadvantage, I feel like I am now living a life that I want to live. And though I have goals and aspirations that may create a different lifestyle, I am experiencing happiness and peace and adventure and abundance right now. And I truly believe that that is a result of my meditation practice and becoming more clear about who we are as humans, and the fact that we are not meant to identify with our feelings solely. We are not meant to identify as our mind or our thoughts entirely. We are combinations of multiple different aspects of the human experience, and we have a higher version of ourselves that we may be able to call the observer, that can acknowledge our thoughts or that can acknowledge our feelings and decide which ones inspire us to take action. A lot of us might decide to change our situation or go to a different place because of how we feel, or we might be able to rationalize and use logic to try to coach ourselves into a different area of life, and that may or may not lead you astray. And until you can recognize that you are not your thoughts, you are not your feelings, you might end up becoming more reactive than proactive in life. And these are some things that I'm learning and I'm experiencing, and I want to bring it back to meditation, because just becoming more familiar with who you are. And interestingly, I learned from Dr. Joe Dispenza that the word meditation means to become familiar with. And you can interpret that to mean become more familiar with yourself and what yourself actually is. And so I want to create this channel to speak to those that are interested in learning about themselves and curious about meditation and pursuing the path of service to themselves and other people. And by giving yourself grace and learning to love different parts of yourself, you will in turn be able to pass that on to other people. There are too many times where we try to be supportive to other people or be loving to other people or give other people advice, and we're not doing those things to ourselves. We are constantly condemning ourselves or insulting ourselves or confining ourselves. And if we are going to do that to ourselves, any sort of external effort, in my mind, really is inauthentic, and it may not serve the purpose that you're intending. And so let's start by loving ourselves and learning who we are in our essence. And that might take us down a path of enlightenment even, And so want to talk more about this in the future. I'm going to be posting more rambles like this, and I believe some of it will be able to serve you and it will serve me, and maybe we can create a community out of this. And so hope to see you guys around. Comment, let me know who you are, where you're from, and what you're looking to accomplish in the next couple months internally. Some of the struggles you might be dealing with and some of the realizations you may have had. Let's help each other out in the comments section. And I'll talk to you guys again soon.